Everything you need to know before buying your first watch. Now, buying your first watch or buying your next watch can feel a little bit like a rabbit hole. Do you go mechanical or do you go quartz? Should you get a dive watch or should you get a dress watch? Should you care what movement is inside the watch? And how much should you even spend? Now, I wish that somebody had made this video for me when I was deciding what watch to buy, whether it was my first watch or my second watch, or your third watch. I think that this video is relevant for everybody, and no doubt the advice that I give you will be supplemented by my subscribers in the comments. So if you have got any advice in the comments down below on how to buy or how to navigate buying your next watch or your first watch. In this video, I'll walk you through everything that you actually need to know before buying your first, second, third, fourth, fifth watch, whether you're spending £50 or £100,000. But before I do get into it, let me introduce myself. I'm Jag from Jag's Watches. This is a watch channel that posts 3 times a week. So if you do enjoy watching watch-related content, then please do consider subscribing. And if you are a returning subscriber, make sure you hit that bell icon. A lot of you are missing my 3 videos a week, so hit that bell icon. Let's get into it. I've split this up into 5 sections. The first section is define your purpose. First things first, why are you buying the watch? Be honest. Is it for daily use? Is it a gift? Is it just to flex? Or are you trying to start a collection? And this will be different obviously for everyone. Do you need a watch for the gym, for the swimming pool? Or do you need a watch to attend meetings with, a wedding with? Because all of these will play a part in your choice. Do you need something rugged or versatile, elegant and minimal? Do you want to wear this every day or on a particular occasion? Knowing your use case will narrow down the choices from thousands into a handful. And that's something that personally has helped me. Moving on to section 2 now, which is something of a contentious, I think, topic in the watch world, which is quartz versus mechanical. Now, you really have to be honest with yourself, because if the movement doesn't matter to you, you can save huge amounts of money by going for a quartz version of a particular watch. Take the Grand Seiko I've mentioned before, the Snowflake. There's 2 different versions to that watch. There's a mechanical spring drive, then there's the 9F quartz version, which is almost half the price. You still get the same build quality, you still get that beautiful textured dial, but you're saving a huge amount of money because you're opting for the quartz. So, talking about quartz watches, they're ultra accurate, they use a battery, they're cheaper, more durable, and you won't have to wind them. You can pick them up and go, so very useful in the context of an everyday watch. Mechanical watches, whether they're automatic or hand wound, have soul. They tick, they sweep, they have heritage. There's real craftsmanship, real engineering there, but they can be a little bit less accurate. They obviously need servicing, so there's extra costs attributed to mechanical watches, and they cost more. Generally, if you want a watch that just works and looks good, go for quartz. If you want a piece of horological art, go mechanical. So it's a real big choice, I think, this one. There is no right answer, of course, there's just your preference. And that's something that I've been thinking about recently. I mentioned in my previous video, looking for a really nice quartz watch to add to the collection. And that Snowflake Light Grand Seiko 37mm has definitely been on my mind recently. This moves on to section 3 now in the video, which is budget smart. Don't let anybody shame your budget. You don't need to spend a fortune to get a great watch. And this is ultimately where the handful of those watches will start to turn into 1, 2 or 3 dependent on your budget. If you are looking under $100, £100, look at Casio, Timex, Seiko 5s are on sale quite a lot of the time. If you're looking between $100 to $300, you've got Orient, Citizen, Swatch. Then if you're looking for $300 up to $1,000, you've got the Tissot, Hamilton, Christopher Ward, and even Baltic, some of these micro brands that offer so much for their price point. And then you've got above $1,000 going to $10,000. And if your limit is actually above $10,000, then you have a lot of choice out there. We're entering the Swiss luxury world. Longines, Oris, Tudor, Omega, Rolex, Patek. But by the way, if this is your first watch, I would recommend not going for an expensive watch straight away. I would recommend going for something a little bit cheaper, because I feel like having some time with a watch will firstly allow you to understand what it feels like to have a watch on a day-to-day basis, will allow you to know how to look after a watch, but also will highlight whether you actually even like wearing a watch before you spend that £10,000 on your Rolex. Because if it's just going to be spent in your wardrobe, there's no point really getting it, is there? So this then leads me on to section 4, which is understanding the basics. Now, this is your crash course into specs. This is a channel that doesn't really go deep into specifications, measurements, because I always say you need to wear the watch and see the watch in the metal to know whether firstly it will fit you, but also if you like the look of it, right? So these reviews, these videos that I do are just something to pique your interest, and then I would recommend going to see these watches in person before buying anything, because I've mentioned, and I made a video on this, that case sizes can often be misleading, and sometimes you just need to try the watch on to know whether it will be a good fit for you. So if we are talking about case size, 36 to 40 millimeters for most people is a sweet spot when it comes to diameter. The lug to lug can determine how big a watch does feel on your wrist, so don't undermine that measurement. The thickness as well is really important, particularly for me. I like to have watches when I wear shirts that kind of slip underneath the cuff. I don't want them to be showing a lot of the time. So the thickness is something to be careful of, to be wary of, especially if you're going to be wearing it on a day-to-day basis at work. Water resistance is really important, because if you're planning on going swimming with this watch, diving with this watch, you obviously are going to need a watch that has water resistance. It doesn't have to be a diving watch, because a lot of watches out there tend to have around 100-meter water resistance, even if they're not labeled as a diver's watch. So that might not limit you as much as you think. And then also, if you want it on a strap or a bracelet, these are all things that you play a part in your choice. Whether you want a leather bracelet, no, leather strap, sorry, makes it a little bit more dressy, and then the bracelet, of course, makes it a little bit more professional. NATO being quite casual. All these things to think about. And then there's lume. Now, lume is something that I never really feel like I need lume in my watches. But if for whatever reason you need visibility in the dark, you're going to need a watch that has lume, and that glows in the dark essentially. Now, movement, again, whether it's Swiss, Japanese or Chinese, they can all be reliable. Focus on the value, not so much the prestige. I think there's a little bit of snobbery when it comes to Swiss movements. We all know Grand Seiko's movements rival the best Swiss movements out there. You don't need to memorize all this, by the way, but it's just good to know the basics when you're going to buy your first watch, because it will allow you to avoid wasting money on a watch that potentially you won't want or don't really care for. Now, section 5. Buy from trusted sources, especially if you're buying pre-owned watches, right? So many fakes out there, and you just don't want to be wasting your money and get scammed, because there's so many fakes out there. It's crazy, and a lot of them look very good. So buy from official brand websites, buy from authorized dealers. If you're spending a lot of money, please do that. Reputable online retailers like Hodinkee, Fratello, these sort of big names that you're not going to get a fake from. Have a look on watch forums, do a bit of research before you buy from maybe a less known retailer. It's so important, because I don't want you to waste your money on a fake. Things to avoid are sketchy listings on Facebook Marketplace. eBay has become a little bit more reliable with their authorized dealership thing that they do, where it gets sent to an authorized dealer. I think it's a watchmaker that checks it over to make sure it's the real deal. And if prices are too good to be true, usually they are too good to be true, and it's usually a fake. It's usually something particularly wrong with it. When you're going for a vintage watch as well, just please be careful. And if you are buying your first watch, I'd recommend not getting a vintage watch and just getting to know the watch world a little bit more before buying a vintage watch, because that can be very dangerous, especially when it comes to servicing, aftercare, all that kind of stuff. It can burn a deep hole in your wallet. So a couple of bonus tips now to finish off this video. Hopefully you've kept with me up until this point. If you have, thank you very much. Buy what you love, not what others hype. You're going to end up living with the watch. You're the one that's going to be wearing it on a day-to-day basis, so you have to like and love the watch yourself. Forget about what other people are telling you to buy. Pick it yourself. Start small. Your taste will evolve, so don't spend £20,000 straight away on a watch. Figure out what you like, because I'm somebody going through that journey now. Used to appreciate all sorts of different watches, and my tastes are refining as the years go by. And no doubt people in the comments will let you know how much your taste can change over the years. Don't stress over resale value is another one, because particularly over the last couple of years, people are talking about whether you'll make a bit of money if you buy the watch, will it go up in price, all this kind of stuff. Majority of watches out there will lose value. So if you're buying a watch for that purpose, I would recommend not going down that rabbit hole in the first place. You can definitely reduce the amount you lose on your watch by buying it on the secondary market. So if you're looking to buy an expensive watch, I would definitely buy something on the secondary market, especially with brands like Omega, Grand Seiko as well, because you save yourself a lot of money, and also you don't lose a lot of money in the process of buying one of these watches. For me, comfort over specs. So if something doesn't feel comfortable or doesn't look good on your wrist, do not get it, because you won't wear it. On a day-to-day basis, you just won't wear it. And the last little bonus tip is, there is no perfect watch. There's just perfect for you right now. That's something that I know a lot of you in the comments will agree with. A lot of you that watch will agree with. There's no such thing as a perfect watch. There's just a perfect watch for right now. So don't feel guilty if 6 months down the line you buy a watch and you're like, it's not the right one for me. You're not the only one. A lot of us do that. So it's all good. Don't feel guilty. But if you found this video helpful, please do let me know in the comments. Please do drop a like as well. And if you are at the beginning of your journey falling down this deep, dark rabbit hole of watch collecting, please do subscribe and hit that bell icon. As I've mentioned, I post 3 times a week. And subscribers, returning viewers, make sure you help those newbies out in the comments. Give your advice in the comments. I would love to see it, because I'm sure it will help me with my next purchase as well. I've been Jag from Jags Watches, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.